Let's hit it. Welcome, 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 welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's week 4, and there have been surprises. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. I'm just happy to be here this morning.
Firstly, I think you're happier than the Arizona Cardinals are this morning. After the way they lost that game to the Seattle Seahawks, and you know, personally, it's amazing. You know how like everybody has a team that they always beat, and for some reason, Seattle keeps beating the Cardinals. And it's like 9, 10 straight. And and I don't get that Seattle has been like all that good, you know, all the, you know, different times they played them, but somehow or another, whether it's 2 interceptions by Kyler Murray, throwing to Marvin Harrison Jr., or the kicker kicks a knuckleball, you know, at the end of the game to give Seattle a shot at being able to end up kicking a field goal to win the game. So, you know, I guess some teams that just have the number. But First Lady, I'm watching that game, and I don't know what it is, but Kyler Murray does not seem to be one of those quarterbacks that inspires confidence in the team. And, you know, I don't know what it is. And, you know, he seems like one of them guys who got skills, but there's just something that's missing in the mix. And,
he doesn't have that leadership. He doesn't have leadership skills, is what you're trying to say, right?
Oh, okay. Hey, you know, I'm looking at Sam Darnold, who is kind of like to me, he displays more leadership, more confidence. And he ain't exactly, you know, a great superstar quarterback or anything, but he does look like he commands the team, and they playing for him. So, you know, I don't know, you know, maybe Kyler needs to, you know, go to boot camp or something, you know. But, you know, but something, you know, and to me that game just says how their season is going to be. And,
well, you know, that's the second consecutive game they lost by a last-second field goal, too. So it is, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess what I mean is that they're going to be mediocre at best. All right, First Lady. This week on Shout Out, we have performances from E-Spade. Will he find his shining star and get the cold feel of the mute button? First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as the Chicago Bears are flapping their wings after handing the Cowboys a beatdown. Is this the year Dak is revealed as an improved Tony Romo? Have the Bears come out of hibernation? Will Michael Parsons feast on Dak Prescott given CeeDee Lamb is out with an injury? The Bears face the Raiders. Will Caleb win the quarterback duel between him and Geno Smith? George Foreman, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? I mean, to be honest with you, Spitface, I just don't see the Chicago Bears coming out of hibernation. I'm just going to put it like this. they played the Dallas Cowboys. And we know that the Dallas Cowboys were horrible with their defense. So anytime you play the Cowboys, you're going to look really, really good. All right? You're going to look good. Let's face it. If you remember, Russell Wilson, he cooked against the Cowboys, and he hasn't done nothing ever since. He didn't do anything before that game. He didn't do anything after that game. So it tells me that the Chicago Bears did well with the Cowboys. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit too early to tell whether or not they are going to be play well or not, and especially offensively. I mean, come on, the Cowboys are ranked 30th in total defense, and they're dead last in passing defense. Dead last in the league in passing defense. And surprisingly, they are ranked number 17 in the rushing defense because if you remember, the rushing defense was the Cowboys' problems last year and previous years. They kind of fixed that up, but then they got bad in the other areas. So, I just don't know right now whether to say the Bears. I can't judge the Bears. I really want to see if them scoring all them runs was just an aberration. Now, as far as Dak is ranked 14 in the league with the 58.8 QBR rating. He's already had 800 passing yards, which he is ranked number 4 in the league, 3 touchdowns, and he has a 71.4 completion percentage. Now, he has had 3 interceptions, but based upon these stats, he's been very serviceable. Not in the top 5 tier of quarterbacks, but definitely in the second tier. So, I mean, I don't know if it's too early to say Dak is an improved Tony Romo. I think Dak is an elite quarterback, and like I said, elite in that second tier, not in the top 5 where you're talking about Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. And guess what? You can't believe who's leading the league in quarterback rating. Do you know who's leading the league? Daniel Jones. Who would have thought Daniel Jones would be leading the league? That's how good he has been this year. So it makes you wonder, was it the Giants was his problem all along? But anyway, so I'm saying it's still too early to tell if Dak is an improved Tony Romo. Now, Micah, will he definitely feast against Dak? Yeah, I think he will feast against Dak because the offensive line. The offensive line for the Cowboys has already allowed Dak to be sacked 5 times so far, and they allowed him to be sacked 5 times, and C.D. Lamb was in the lineup, so you can expect him to get sacked multiple times with George Pickens being their only deep threat. So it's going to be a problem. I expect Micah to really hone in and knock Dak down a couple of times. Unless they put 2 people on Micah. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do that. But, I expect Dak to get knocked down several times by Micah Parsons. So we'll see. Again, Caleb, he showed promise against the Cowboys. And, again, as I indicated, I'm not sure if that was a reflection of the bad defense from the Cowboys. However, the numbers speak for themselves. Caleb is having a better season so far than Geno Smith, and the Raiders' passing defense is not that great either. They're ranked number 24 in the league. So, Geno really has been very mediocre so far this season. And I think right now, if we have to go by what happened with the Cowboys, Ben Johnson has unleashed Caleb's skills. So, I expect the same against the Raiders. I actually expect him to have a good, productive game because, like I said, the Raiders' pass rushing is not that, pass defense is not that great. So, hopefully it's a turning point for the Bears with Caleb. The whole thing is I don't expect the Bears to be, it's it's going to be questionable if they make it to the playoffs. I don't think they will. But you just want to see significant improvement from last season. And I think Ben Johnson is going to have them significantly improve. And I think he is going to be able to unleash Caleb's skills. And, I expect him to do the same thing against the Raiders. All right, Spitface, what's your opinion about this subject?
Well, First Lady, I'm looking at just looking at the Bears for one quick second, and all I have to say is what I'm saying right now is Green Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit. All three of them can be back in the playoffs again. So, whether the Bears come out of hibernation or not, the Bears could end up with a winning season, which would be a great improvement, but not make the playoffs because Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit were playoff bound last year, and they can certainly be playoff bound this year. Maybe Minnesota might slip because of quarterback issues, but other than that, that division, the Bears would have to do some real stepping up, and it looks like the Lions are going to roar again. So, but back to the Dak, to me, is he's already been revealed as an improved Tony Romo. Tony Romo had great stats. He always had great stats, and he just couldn't win the big games. And teams figure out how to pressure Dak, and it's the big team. It's the teams that were playoff teams with good records. And it's not just all on Dak, of course, because he's not playing defense. He can't throw the ball to himself. But maybe he should try that. But, he can't throw the ball to himself. So, everybody else has to step up. But this year, like every other season, the Cowboy mystique is there. And the Cowboy mystique, and I think, First Lady, part of what you're alluding to is that, hey, if Russell Wilson can look like he should be the starting quarterback for the Giants playing against the Cowboys, and then Caleb Williams looks like he's on par with the elite quarterbacks when you play the Cowboys. The Cowboys as a team are maybe the mystique is gone. They are a mediocre team. And they're a mediocre team that at one time could squeak and beat enough of the lower tier teams to make the playoffs. Ain't happening this year. Not with Washington and not with the Eagles. And I even at this early stage, I go Washington and the Eagles had those two playoff berths, because three are not going to come out of the NFC East, and it's not going to be. And if three were coming out, I would almost bet on the Giants with Jackson Dart, the rookie, start. Now, have the Bears come out of hibernation? I think the Bears they haven't come out of hibernation, but they got an eye open. One of the eyes is open. So they still got some possibilities. Will Micah Parsons feast on Dak Prescott? If it's not Micah, it's going to be somebody else on Green Bay, because they got to put two people on Micah. So the other guy's going to go, well, why you got him bottled up? That opened me up. So either way, Dak is in for a long day, and Green Bay can score. So they can very quickly find themselves behind two scores, and now it's, now is airing the ball out, and you got no CD Lamb. So to me, it don't look good for the Cowboys. It don't look good for Dak. Now, over on those wacky Raiders, the Raiders they wacky. They wacky. That's just it. The Bears are young and working on their new system, and overall they're a better team. They're just a better team than the Raiders. They have a lot of holes on the Bears, but not as many on the Raiders. And the Raiders rookie running back is still trying to find his groove. I don't get it's going to be against the Bears. So, and Geno, as you said, has been pretty kind of mediocre. He's been pretty mediocre. So I go there's a lot of upside on the Bears side. So Caleb will win this quarterback duel. And yeah, that's what I'm saying, First Lady.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the Cowboys, they're not going to pay to win against the Packers. But then again, we don't know because the Browns beat the Packers too, and everybody thought that was surprising. But one thing about the Browns, they play defense. They don't score that much, but at least they keep their team in the game offensively because they play great defense. The Cowboys' defense is horrible, and Dak is going to have to try to outscore the Packers in order for them to win, and I don't see that happening. So anyway, all right, Spitface, over to you.
Okay, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in there, making the tears rain down like a monsoon, listening to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition, I'm towering. Reconcile when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll get you all sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. We're talking about the knockout punch by the Panthers beating the Falcons 30-0. Is this a case of the Falcons looking past the Panthers? Is it time to jump on the Panthers bandwagon? The Buccaneers are undefeated after 3 games. Is there any chance another team in their division can knock them off their perch? Leroy Statue Page, Walter Buck Leonard, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking what you said. Well, First Lady, I'm looking at the Falcons. I'm looking at the Panthers, and it's like, shouldn't that have been the score been reversed? Shouldn't that have been those Falcons beating the Panthers 30-0? And the old saying on any given Sunday, and because they're all NFL teams, and that might have been the Falcons on any given Sunday, in the sense that a team that was not expected to win came out and gave you a butt whooping. Now, I do think that the Falcons will rebound. And I think that the Panthers will settle in to the team they are. And it won't be the Panthers are not winning that division. And the Panthers are not making the playoffs. So they're not going to be a wild card. But the division itself is just kind of, you got one good team, the Buccaneers. Everybody else, well, Atlanta is a possibility. But really, Atlanta, New Orleans, and the Panthers, they are still trying to find their identity, who they are, what kind of team they'll be. The Buccaneers know exactly who they are. They love their quarterback, and Todd Bowles has that defense. They have more than a respectable defense. That defense comes to play. So overall, they have that one team in the division, and none of the other teams are going to knock them off the perch. unless something drastic happens, like Baker Mayfield goes down for the season. And even with that, the Buccaneers are still a better team. They could probably survive that and still win the division. Again, I don't know I think the Falcons, the Falcons, I think they had some drinks before the game. I don't know what they were doing to come out and get that kind of butt whooping. But one thing is that when you get beat like that, and you're a team that does have talent, you will come back, because that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You will come back, and that includes the coaching, because everybody, that's a collective beatdown. So they will bounce back. And First Lady, what you say?
Well, before we begin, I just have to say something. I don't know if you noticed, Spitface. It seems like everybody is starting to use our intro about Mama Gonna Knock You Out on their commercials. I noticed the Pfizer did it last year in the Super Bowl, and they got a new Jeep commercial out with Mama Gonna Knock You Out. Well, I've been here. The comeback. They say the comeback. And ESPN has used it. I mean, give us some credit, because we've been using this for what? Since 2012, I believe, right? A long time. I just needed to say that. I just needed to say that.
Well, we give a shout out to LL Cool J, since it is his line.
Yes, it is.
But his show all of a sudden got popular again.
It sure did. Yes, it did. Okay, well, let me tell you something. I don't think the Falcons overlooked the Panthers. The Falcons they've just been bad this season. Michael Penix Jr. has been struggling this season. And in that particular game, the special teams made several errors. The Falcon kicker, he missed in the first possession of the game. He missed a field goal from 49 yards out. First possession, they ran the ball, they got the ball down to the 49 yard, and he got it down, it was a 49-yard field goal, and he missed it. And then after they didn't do well with their second possession, this is all in the first quarter, but they punted the ball, and the Panthers actually fumbled the ball, and the Falcons had the ball on the 33-yard line. Something happened with the passing. They went backwards 5 yards. So the kicker had to do a 55-yard field goal. He missed that. I mean, those mishaps really caused the Falcons to have a very, very slow start against the Panthers. The Panthers ended up scoring a touchdown and a field goal. But, with that all that being said, they still was only down by 10 points until the beginning of the first quarter. Michael Penix, he threw a pick six for 11 yards. Excuse me. So, he's been inept regarding his offense, and the turnovers by the Falcons have been really horrible. So, excuse me. So, it's been an issue with the Falcons. They've been very, very disappointing, very, very disappointing. Now, when it comes to the Panthers, I'm sorry, Spitface, but I am not jumping on the Panthers bandwagon because they beat a struggling Falcons team. The Buccaneers are basically on an island to themselves as far as being the best in that division. I don't see any other team, the Falcons, the Panthers, or the Saints, winning enough games to overtake the Buccaneers. I think it's the worst division in the entire NFL. The only other division that comes as equivalent to the NFC South is the AFC South, because especially the way the Texans have been looking. But I still think that the NFC South is the worst division. And I'm just so disappointed in the Falcons. They were promising last year. I mean, Michael Penix, he took over for Kirk. What's his name? Kirk Cousins. Took over for Kirk Cousins. They had drafted him, even though they gave all that money to Kirk Cousins. But now Penix I don't know. He has regressed. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's play calling or what the issue is for the Falcons, but they definitely need to do a lot better than they're doing. And, again, the Panthers, they're not going far. They're not going to go far. That, like I said, that division is soft, very weak, very weak. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Okay, they are soft. Okay. Well, First Lady, you have the last word. Please take us to break. Oh, did we lose First Lady, or did the mute button get stuck? Okay, it looks like the technology was doing something there. I'm back.
Yeah, we got some bad weather here in my South Florida right now. But anyway, stay tuned. Up next, we'll have a performance from E-Spade on Shout Out Part 1.
E-Spade. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from E-Spade.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If you like what we hear, we'll give a track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. On the first part of the shout out, we are featuring music from E-Spade and his hit album, Can't Stop My Crease. All right. So, all right, let's hear that title track, Can't Stop My Crease.
You can't stop my crease. I took my crease from the street to the penthouse suite. I stuck some naked alligators while sliding up the escalator. Innovator, not a hater, never use the elevator. Highly protected, much ready, respected. Try to analyze my crystal, I can even dissect it. You never couple me or crinkle me, wrinkle me or ruffle me. Never can you duffle me, back me up or muffle me. I'm concentrated, stay flow. Reason why my crease broke. Arrest the luminescent yellow, good to see my crease glow. I start jeans, pristine, from the cleaners. Topping haters drooling like a pack of hyenas. My crease be defending me from any type of enemy. Century to century, from here to infinity. I limited my liability, gave his own identity. LSC my crease to its very own entity. You can't stop my crease, you can't stop my crease. I'm wrinkle free, blood, can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm too major, baby, can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm too starch for your hoe. 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 You can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm wrinkle free, blood, can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm too major, baby, can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm too starch for your hoe. 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 I'm too starch for you, baby, so I crease like a blade. I play you like an ace, cause you know I'm a spade. You can't win me or make me, bend me or break me, hear me, trim me, sold me or take me. My crease everlasting, ripping haters like plastic. You try to take my crease, you best to unasked it. My crease defines me, the character that binds me. If I lose my crease, it's my crease that I find me in a burning inferno. My crease the a thermal. Outside in, inside out, my crease became internal. Taking no vacations, no alterations. For you checking for my crease, are gonna be an altercation. Be it auntie or uncle, sister or brother, ex-wife, baby mama, father or mother. Can you stop my crease? I'll say never. I'm E-Spade, baby, my crease is forever. You can't stop my crease, you can't stop my crease. I'm wrinkle free, player, can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm too major, baby, can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm too starch for you. 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 You can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm wrinkle free, player, can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm too major, baby, can't stop my crease. You can't stop my crease. I'm too starch for you. I'm too starch for you. I'm too starch for you. I'm too starch for you.
Is E-Spade with Can't Stop My Crease. All right, Fit Face, you giving this track a shout out, or are you going to hit the mute button?
I'm going to give it a shout out. It kind of had me giggling. And I kind of, my man said he got some stars and he wrinkle free. I'm like, so it to me, it was a fun track and still pretty well put together. So I'm shouting it out. I like it.
Well, in the beginning, I was going to say, oh, this is all he's going to say, can't stop my crease, can't stop my crease. But no, he had some lyrics to the song. And like you said, it was a fun track. So I'm going to also shout it out. I give E-Spade some credit. He got some good rapping skills there. And like I said, it was a fun track. So I'm shouting it out. All right. On part 2 of Shout Out, we'll feature another performance from E-Spade. Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
Missing a world of wonder, lying there all day, under the sea.
All right. It's time for Flip It. And First Lady, by the way, we know Flipper is wrinkle free. All right. The AFC West has only one team with a winning record, and it ain't the Chiefs. Will the Chargers be able to hold on to the division lead throughout the season? The Chargers are getting better each week, and the other teams seem bewildered. They will win the division. First Lady, I'm looking at Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. They got it going on. And it looks like Justin has finally, Justin is looking like he's about to get over the hump. He was already a top quarterback. He got mad skills, but it really seems like this may be his season. And everybody else in the division is floundering bad. You look at for the Chiefs to start out with an 0-3 record and end up winning that division. Not saying they won't make the playoffs, but winning that division, the Chargers would have to have a bunch of breakdowns along the way. And the Broncos have got off to an unexpectedly slow start. And the Raiders, they're the Raiders. You know, they're the Raiders. They're the Raiders. Okay, so it's like not a lot to be said about that. But at the pace they're going, and now that the bullies of the AFC West, you know, the king of the AFC West, the Chiefs, some of the armor, you know, has been cast aside, and teams are figuring out how to beat the Chiefs. And Kelsey, I'm glad that Kelsey is engaged to a wonderful rich woman. You know, I like Go Brothers. You know, wonderful rich women need love too. So I'm glad for that. But you know, it kind of seems like Father Time has caught up with old Kelsey, and he's still a top player, but it's like him, and even Andy Reid, the coach. You know, something is off with the team, and it just may be that they're getting a taste of losing, and they haven't had that taste in so long that, you know, it's really better in their mouths. So right now, the most confident team in that division is the Chargers, and they got every reason to be. So it looks to me that the other teams it's going to take them maybe another 3-4 games to kind of get their footing together, and by that time, the Chargers would have accumulated enough of an edge, and where they'll just keep going straight to winning the division. First Lady defend the Chargers, and Justin Herbert got the mojo going. They will win the division.
Well, it appears that Justin Herbert has finally looked like the quarterback the pundits expected him when he was first drafted. He really is playing at an MVP level this year, and he's looking good. I mean, he's you know, he's had previous seasons where he has done well, but you know, there's always a but for the Chargers. They never did well in the playoffs. That was one of the issues. But this Chargers team now is really look like they're built for a championship right now. They're very well balanced, and Herbert is just playing lights out right now. But I also believe the main issue for the Chargers, they just needed a decent coach. And they finally got one in Jim Harbaugh. That's all they needed. They just needed a good coach. They've had some bad coaches at the Chargers. So they finally got Jim Harbaugh. You know, he left Michigan in a hurry. We understand why he left Michigan, because he was going to be suspended. But anyway, you know, the one thing Jim Harbaugh has done, he has given this Chargers team an identity. They are a typical Jim Harbaugh team that wins with defense and a strong rushing game. And they have Herbert there that now with that strong rushing game, he can really pick teams apart with the play fake. I might be saying it wrong, but anyway, that's what Herbert can do now, and that's why he's looked so good. And it's called because of Jim Harbaugh. You know, he's giving them that identity. And then the major also problem is the Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are not that team anymore. They are struggling. They look like Father Time has caught up with the Chiefs. And, you know, the Chargers are definitely ready to win the division. The Broncos and the Raiders, I mean, they're not quite ready to challenge the Chargers for this division. You know, I just don't see them. The Broncos may make it into the playoff. They made it into the playoff on the last game. But, you know, I just think that they're not quite ready. I think they'll be able to challenge the Chargers in a couple of years. They're awfully a young team, and they're building their identity there. And but the Chiefs, that's the team that just is struggling so they just struggling. They just can't seem to get anything done offensively. And the defense has really taken a step back this year. I don't understand what's going on with the Chiefs' defense. That's the reason they won last year was maybe because of their defense, because the offense really wasn't great last year. As I said, Patrick Mahomes has become a game manager lately, but that defense is definitely taking a 2 steps back. But the Chargers look strong. They look like they're ready to take this away from the Chiefs. So definitely the Chargers are going to win the divisions. Spit face.
All right. Well, let's flip it. The season is long, and never count out Patrick Mahomes. It's too early to crown the Chargers if Mahomes is around. First Lady, the Chiefs have a tough road to hoe, and this is a team that has won Super Bowls, and just like the old empire, the Patriots, they get it together, and when they get it together, they start making that strong push. And once they start making that strong push, teams that seem like they would be able to, okay, we can get them, it don't work out that way. So I go, it's too early to kick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Chiefs to the curb. And you got even Kelsey, things that. They're just not connecting right now. The running game ain't going right now. The defense looks discombobulated right now. Well, they've been winning so much that teams have adjusted. So now they got to adjust to that. The teams have adjusted to how they've been playing. And they got the perfect coach and the perfect quarterback to turn things around. And when they turn things around and get that motor going, the Chargers may have drew first blood, but we'll see how much the Chiefs will be able to turn it around and get the last blood. First Lady, defend. The Chargers have a good start, but the Chiefs will catch them in the end.
Well, Spitface, this is going to be a battle for the top spot between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Don't discount the Chiefs out because, they're starting slow. They won first game against the Giants in week 3. And, I think this is going to jumpstart them to go on a winning streak, even though they got a very, very difficult schedule that in the next 6 weeks. They play the Ravens. That's their next game. They play the Ravens, and they play the Jaguars, the Lions, the Raiders, Commanders, and the Bills. And, the Raiders, as bad as the Raiders have been, they've always beaten the Chiefs. So it's interesting. So I still think they're going to go on a winning streak. Patrick Mahomes has been everything for them. He's within the top 5 regarding quarterback rating. He's really done it all for the Chiefs. He is their current leading rusher. That's why when you talk about the running game being bad, that just tells you how bad the running game is when your quarterback is your leading rusher. He has already rushed for 125 yards in 3 games. He's ranked 30th in the league in rushing. The issue for the Chiefs, obviously, is that they're missing their 2 wide receivers. Rice is out due to that suspension stemming from that, high-speed multi-vehicle crash. In 2024, he's suspended for 6 games, so he's not coming back until week 7. Also, Worthy is out with a shoulder injury. So once these players return, the Chiefs' offense will be more productive than they are currently. And, it just forces, Kelsey needs to take on a stronger role. We all know that he's getting long in the tooth, so that's something he's going to have to overcome. He's not productive, but, he had some issues dropping the ball. But, the thing is, the fact for me, even though the Chargers are playing well, you just cannot, you have to keep in mind that the Kansas City Chiefs has dominated this division. You just can't overlook that. They have won this division 9 consecutive times. 9 consecutive times. So if you're going to tell me that the Chiefs are not going to win the division, I'm not betting against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, just because from a historical point of view, they have won this division 9 consecutive times. They haven't had great teams. Like I said, I don't think they've had great teams for the last 2 years, but for some reason, they can win games. I mean, it just started off slow this year. But again, like I said, I think once they won that first game, they're going to work out those kinks, and I just think they're going to overtake the Chargers, because we know sometimes the Chargers, when they get prosperity, they just can't continue with it, and they fall flat on their face. And I just think that's going to happen. I think the Chiefs will definitely overtake the Chargers.
Okay, hey, how many times has Seattle beat the Cardinals? Like you say, that it's something about the trend is your friend. All right, First Lady, over to you for more flipping.
The Texans and the Dolphins are both winless. We wonder, which team should the fans throw in the towel? Spitface defend. The Texans are in full meltdown. CJ doesn't have a line throw in the towel. All right, defend. The Texans it's just remarkable how this team has crashed and cratered, and it's also remarkable how they get rid of Larry Tunsil and they acquire new offensive players on the line. And they're still crap. They still can't protect CJ. You know, I look at CJ, he gets in the pocket, and you know how some quarterbacks, they have a 2-step drop, a 3-step drop. He doing 10 and 12. He damn near back on back on his own goal line, because he can't get no protection. And CJ is a passer. You know, he can run. He's good with play action, but play action means that you got a running game, so you can throw the defense off. Man, the defenses are just teeing up and going after them. And I hate to say it, Texan fans, this is not your year. This is, right now CJ's confidence is about shot. I don't think he may not have led the league in sacks last year, but he was in the top 3. I think Caleb Williams beat him out, something like that. But you look at it, the Texans should be better. Now, but it looks like right now, even though they're playing the AFC South, that by the time they get it together, it'll be too little too late. Now, the Dolphins have their issues, but the Dolphins got playmakers. They got big-time playmakers. And they have a much better line than the Texans have. So the things that the Dolphins have to do to get themselves together and at least get back to being competitive, it is an easier road to hoe. But right now, the Texans are in full meltdown, and CJ looks like, hey, I'm just out here trying to not get sacked. It's instead of I'm trying to make plays. That's what I'm saying, First Lady. Okay, so you said CJ is just trying to not get sacked. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, he's unfortunately he's in trouble. Well, I mean, as far as I'm going to say, the Houston Texans are definitely in a meltdown mood. I mean, they desperately need to do something about that offensive line. That offensive line just does not give C.J. Stroud enough time to throw passes. I mean, it's just a problem, and it puts them in a game. They fail to gain positive yards on their first and second down. They're constantly forced with long yardage on their third downs. This is what's been happening. Statistics are showing very early in the 2025 season that that 16 of their 18 drives, the Texans are faced with second or third down with 9 or more yards to go. That's not good. That's not good. They don't have the running game is not good. The offense is just very inefficient right now, very anemic. I mean, they're ranked among the lowest scoring in the league throughout the 3 weeks. And let's say it, C.J. Stroud, really his wide receiver core is not really coming through for him. Nico Collins is doing okay, but the other ones are not doing. And the running backs are having issues too because of the protection from that O-line. It's a domino effect. The O-line has just really messed things up for the Texans. The thing is too, the Texans have, even though as bad as they've been, they've lost 3 of their games by single possession. That means to me that they just can't finish games. And the Texans, defense have kept them in the games, but the offense just cannot win the games. That's been the main problem. That's why they've been losing by those single possessions. The Dolphins, they're in trouble too, but, like you said, Spitface, they do have weapons, so it's just a matter of Tua trying to turn his bad season around. And if he can turn his bad season around, the Dolphins definitely have weapons that they can score. They can score with anybody usually, but they just, their defense hasn't been great this year. But Texas really, really, man, I just don't. They just, oh my gosh, they're at rock bottom right now. The fans will definitely throw in the towel. All right, Spitface, we're going to flip it. Defend. Dolphin fans, throw in the towel and throw the coach overboard. Defend.
There is a time when you realize that you can't fire everybody. And when it's that point, that's when, we got to fire the coach. And right now, there was, I can't remember the phrase, when before Tua came in the league and the draft was being set up, it was the Dolphins were, I'll just say, losing for Tua so that they would get that number 1 pick and they'd be able to choose Tua. And Tua, as talented as he is, he's got issues. And he's got issues health-wise. Can he stay out of concussion protocol? Can he just stay healthy to get him through a season? And so that's the issue for them. Now, the Texans' issue is that offensive line. They know they got a good, reliable quarterback. They got to get that line together. The Dolphins, it's like they got so many things that go errant, go wrong, that you start looking and you go, wait just a minute. You got players, you got playmakers, you got defenders, you got, they got tools. They got tools to work with, which are probably a lot better than the Texans. So I'm going Miami fans. Look, the Fists are sitting at 0-3. You could say, hey, look, they still got a shot because there's only one team, other team in the division that has a win, and that's the Patriots. Now, Buffalo is undefeated. But other than that, you got the Patriots with 1 win. So you say, okay, well, look, they got a chance to catch up. Well, who did the Patriots get the 1 win against? So, it's like, look, it's time that throw in the towel and throw the young coach was, he did good, but it's time to throw him overboard.
All right, to throw it in the towel. Yep. The 1 win, like you said, against the Patriots. The Patriots won it against the Dolphins. Yep. But I've said it, and I'm going to continue to say it. I said it the other time. The Miami Dolphins are a team that's in disarray where their quarterback and the coach and the GM are all under fire to save their jobs. So when you do have an issue like that, things don't go too well, unfortunately, because they're pressing, and that's what's going on with Tua. Tua's pressing right now. He doesn't look good. You know, the defense, I don't know what's going on because they got a new coordinator. I think his name is Anthony. I forgot what his, I don't know his last name, but the new coordinator really hasn't done well as far as the defense. And they're talking about getting rid of McDaniels and giving him the job. So, you know, they played well against the Bills. They look horrible against the Colts. You know, the Patriots, they were in that game, but they have a lot of mental errors, a lot of problems. And this is something going on with the Dolphins. They just don't seem to be a well-coached team. And that's some of the problem. That's on coaching. You know, that's on co-coaching. And that's why I don't think if they lose against the Jets, he's going to be out of here, you know. And for some reason they want to give, his name is Anthony Weaver. He's the defensive coordinator. They're going to put him in as the coach temporarily. But, you know, the Dolphins team they're just undisciplined, very careless. They do costly penalties, costly turnovers. They're just in a disarray. They've had, you know, very poor play in the Dolphins. I just don't see them turning things around. And look, the fans are really frustrated with the Dolphins. They're so frustrated that, you know, the Dolphins are going to be playing Monday night. And, you know, this is going to be 2 weeks that they're going to be in prime time. It was on Thursday night, and now they're going to be Monday night. And they're coming out with new uniforms, Space. I like the uniform. They're black with the orange. They really look nice. But a lot of people don't like that uniform. They said they don't look like the Dolphins uniform. I said, well, maybe the Dolphins are trying to hide and disguise themselves. But when they've been playing so poorly, they need to be in new uniforms, so we don't know who they are. So, but anyway, I thought that the uniform, I thought they was nice. I like the new uniforms, and so anyway, we'll see. This team, I mean, you hear them talk. You know, I'm here. That's my hometown team where I live, and they talk about, you know, they just got to go one game at a time. Losing 3 doesn't define who they are. Well, to me, I don't know what they're talking about, because you lose 3, the chances of you making a playoff is very limited. I think I talked about that last week. It's like a 7% chance of making the playoffs when you've lost your first 3 games. So, yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem because the team didn't make it to the playoffs last year. You know, they need to make it to the playoffs. And then when they get to the playoffs, they need to win a game. They haven't won a game in 20-something. They have not won a playoff game in 20-something years. So that's saying a lot. So anyway, the Dolphins fans, we've already thrown in the towel, Spitface. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
All right. On the other side of the break, we have another performance from E-Spade on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep your ears glued to those speakers.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
On the second part of shout-out, we are featuring another track from E-Spade. I don't know, First Lady. This next track, let's hear Hell is Real. Oh, man.
You watch me on cable while I'm looking for your casket. I'll bury your world in my head, many souls are screaming. The visions of death and disembodied demons. The bottomless pit, evil looks, prophecies revealed. Hell is real. Voices in my head, many souls are screaming. The visions of death and disembodied demons. The bottomless pit, evil looks, prophecies revealed. Hell is real. We work out in the gym, trying to make our body stronger, taking all types of supplements, trying to live longer. Every second that we live, we draw closer to death. In one heartbeat, we'll take our last breath. We plan for our future like college education. What could be more important than our eternal destination? Salvation is a gift, free from God. And we walk around here like what's so hard? All the money and the power, influence and gold. We can gain the whole world just to lose our soul. All in vain, who's to blame when you know the truth? And when the day comes, we'll have no excuse. So what's the meaning of life but to worship through Christ? Some ignore what I'm saying, others take my advice. We all need to be saved. It's God's will. Believe it or not, hell is real. Hell is real. Voices in my head, many souls are screaming. The visions of death and disembodied demons. The bottomless pit, evil looks, prophecies revealed. Hell is real. Voices in my head, many souls are screaming. The visions of death and disembodied demons. The bottomless pit, evil looks, prophecies revealed. Hell is real. Good Lord, thank you for my spiritual save. Becoming my sin, abundant life you gave. You live a life obedient. Blood down to the cross was the cost that you paid. Sacrifice for the lost. I accept what you did and believe in my heart. Baptized in water for a brand new start. Death, burial, resurrection, true mercy and grace. Peace, love, and joy, new spiritual race. Maybe not perfect, but I'm perfect within. You're faithful and just. Forgive me all my sins, all iniquities. If I only confess, I pray every day. I confess I'm blessed. Spread the good news as I pick up my cross. If I fall in the race, I get back up and dust off and continue my mission, reaching young lost souls. Hell is real. Now you know you've been told. Hell is real. In my head, many souls are screaming. The visions of death and disembodied demons. The bottomless pit, evil looks, prophecies revealed. Hell is real. Voices in my head, many souls are screaming. The visions of death and disembodied demons. The bottomless pit, evil looks, prophecies revealed. Hell is real. You might be stable to the grown, but your grown ain't stable. You might be stable to the grown, but your grown ain't stable. You might be stable to the grown, but your grown ain't stable.
All right. E-Spade putting out that message. He's letting them know hell is real. You better get your act together. First Lady, what's the verdict on hell is real? Is it getting a shout out or the mute button?
That one was a lot of noise, seemed like to me, but I'm going to shout it out because hell is real, okay? I mean, he put that message, like you said, he got the message and the point out, so I'm definitely going to shout it out.
Yeah, I'm shouting it out, and I agree with you that there was a lot in the background that kind of made it a little hard to hear the message clearly. So that's the only little ding I would give on it. But the message was pretty straight, and he had a nice little rhythm. So I'm giving it a shout out. That is the end of shout out. You can check out E-Spade on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
All right, it's time for the pigskin picks for week 4. But we got the results from our previous weeks. I think we only did 2 weeks. We did miss week number 2 for some reason. But anyway, we did 1 and 3. So in week 1, let's see. Week 1, I had a negative 50,000 points. Spitface, you had 0 points. And Dizzy Mac had 50,000 points. In week 3, I had 150,000 points. Busy Mac had minus 50,000 points. Spitface, you had minus 50,000 points. So, as of today, the totals are, I'm leading with 100,000 points. Busy Mac has 0 points. And Spitface, you're in the red, negative 50,000 points. All right, let's get to our current picks for week 4. All right, we have the Vikings versus the Steelers. This game is in Pittsburgh. Spitface, I don't know who looks good and who looks bad. I don't know if it's an aberration the Vikings are doing well. Aaron Rodgers has been looking good, but I'm going to go with the Vikings. I don't trust the Steelers on this one. Dizzy Mac has the Steelers. Who do you have winning the game?
Well, I'm going with the Steelers just because the Vikings had to put in, I think, Carson Wentz, and that could end up being, Carson could be another surprise like Sam Darnold, but I'm going to go with the Steelers. They're at home.
Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot about that, but that's okay. All right, Titans versus the Texans. Both these teams have not won a game. All right, Dizzy Mac has the Texans. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm going with the home field, Texans.
All right, we're all going with the Texans because I am too. Eagles versus the Buccaneers. Spitface, good game. Who do you have?
Oh, man. I'm going with the Bucs. All
right. I have the Buccaneers too, Spitface. I think the Eagles are upset. They could be upset this weekend. Dizzy Mac has the Eagles. Colts versus the Rams. This was like is Matt Stafford playing? Is he playing Spitface or no?
Stafford's playing.
Stafford. All right, so I'm going with the Rams. Dizzy Mac has the Rams. Who do you have, Spitface?
The Rams.
All right. I thought about going with the Colts. I don't believe in Daniel Jones that much. Moving along, the Jaguars versus the 49ers. Dizzy Mac has the Jaguars. Spitface, who do you have?
Oh, I'm going. I'm not sure if Brock Purdy is playing, but I'm still going with the 49ers.
Yes, I am too. I'm going with the 49ers on this one. All right, the big game. I'm trying to see. Is this the Sunday night game? It should be. Hoping it is. Ravens versus the Chiefs.
Oh no, the Sunday night game is Packers Cowboys.
Don't you think the Ravens versus the Chiefs should have been the Sunday night game? All right. That still got them Cowboys appeal. I tell you, nah. But anyway, Ravens versus the Chiefs. Spitface, who do you have?
Both these teams, the Ravens really need a win bad, but the Chiefs really need to win bad as well. The Ravens have been playing just good enough to lose for some reason. But I'm gonna go with Mahomes and company because they're at home.
Yeah, I have the Chiefs. Dizzy Mac has the Ravens. Bears versus the Raiders. I have the Raiders. Dizzy Mac has the Raiders. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm gonna go with the Bears on this one.
Okay. All right. Dizzy Mac. Okay, Packers versus the Cowboys. Dizzy Mac has the Packers. Spitface, who do you have?
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I think we all in agreement with that. I have the Packers also. Jets versus the Dolphins. Let's see. Jets versus Dolphins. Spitface. No. Dizzy Mac has the.
Who does Dizzy Mac have?
He has the Jets.
I'm going to go with the Fish.
All right, you're going with the Dolphins. Well, I'm going with the Jets. I think they both need a game. They both need a win. I don't trust the Dolphins. Bengals versus the Broncos. Busy Mac has the Broncos. Who do you have, Spitface?
I'm going with the Broncos.
You have the Broncos. I have the Broncos also. So we all have the same. We in agreement on several games. All right, let's do. Oh, I'm sorry. Those were all worth 50,000 points. And now over and under. Our over and under. We didn't do too well last week on our over and under, so I can tell you that. The first over and under is over under a push is for 100,000 points. Jalen Hurts, 50 rushing yards. I'm going with under. Busy Mac has under. Spitface, what do you have?
I'm going with under.
Mm-hmm. All right. Kayla Williams, 2 passing touchdowns. Busy Mac has under. What do you have, Spitface?
I'm going with the over.
I'm going to go with the push.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with the push. Dak Prescott, 1 interception. Spitface, what do you have?
I'm going with the under.
All right. I'm going to go with the push. Busy Mac has over. Micah Parsons, 1 sack. I have 1 sack. I'm going to go over. Busy Mac has over. What do you have, Spitface?
I'm going push.
You think he's going to get 1 sack? All right. Patrick Mahomes, 2 passing touchdowns. Busy Mac has under. What do you have, Spitface?
Over.
They're playing the Ravens, right?
Yep.
2 passing touchdowns. I'm going to go with push. I got a lot of pushes up there. Derrick Henry, 100 rushing yards. Spitface, what do you have?
Under.
Yes, I'm going under because he had 1 good rushing game so far. Busy Mac has over. Aaron Rodgers, 2 passing touchdowns. What do you have, Spitface?
I'm going with over.
I'm going with push. Busy Mac has over. All right, so we'll see how that works out. Definitely, we got a lot of games, a lot of overs and unders, so we shall see how we do with that. All right, it's time. What is your top story to watch this week, Steve?
The Miami Dolphins, if they lose, does the coach get kicked to the curb?
Yeah. My top story to watch this week is who is going to make the MLB playoffs? This is the final, we're down to the final weekend of baseball, regular season, and who's going to make the playoffs? I am stunned that the Mets may not make the playoffs. I can't believe this. I have to find out where they are right now, but it's a potential. Last time I looked, they may not make the playoffs. So I'm very keen on to see who will make the playoffs in the Major League Baseball. Check out our current and previous episodes at Bras, Panties, and Sports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.